Hey Stacy, welcome to Lincoln Park Boat Club. Here at the Boat Club we offer rowing and paddling classes. One of the few things you'll learn today will be outrigger canoe, kayaking, and sculling.
Good. Let's get started.
Great. I'm going to introduce you to our instructors and we'll get started.
All right.
Here with Steve Quinn, one of our kayak instructors. Hi Steve, how are you doing today?
Good, thanks.
We're going to show a little bit about kayaking here at Lincoln Park Boat Club.
Okay, we have my victim here, Stacy. He's asked wants to learn a little bit about kayaking. So 7 years old to 70 years old, and they all get it trained, so it'll be easy for you.
Too much. What about what life jacket is? You call it
The paddle?
the paddle.
Definitely. There are, as I said, it's an easy sport to pick up, but there are a few things that you should know in order to do it safely. So the first thing, and the most important thing, is a life jacket. We refer to it as a PFD. PFD stands for Personal Flotation Device. And this is the most important thing you need to know. If you're going to go out on a kayak, no matter where you go, when you go, whatever, if you're in a kayak on the water, you must be wearing a PFD. It's so critically important. So let's get you set up in this thing. We'll get it fitted for you properly. So yeah, you can put your head through there. Yep, just like that. Good.
Okay, now I'm lost.
Alright, so we'll zip this up on the side here. And the important thing with the life jacket is that you get it set up so that it's snug. You want it to be tight enough so that when you go into the water, it's not going to lift up and come up on your chin. So it's tight enough that it's snug and attached to you, but it's not so tight that you can't breathe. You don't want it to restrict your movement and breathing. Okay? So a properly fitted PFD is absolutely critical. If you're going to go on a kayak, have one of these things on. If you ever have a problem, this is going to keep you afloat. Number one safety thing. If we die kayaking, most of the time it's because we're not wearing one of these. So
Lifesaver.
That's a lifesaver. All right, so you're going to need a paddle too, right?
Yeah.
So let's get this over the paddle. So there is as many different kinds of paddles as there are trees. So lightweight paddles, recreational paddles. What we have here is more or less like a recreational paddle. It's got a fiberglass shaft. It's got a kind of a rubber flexible blade. This is a really good beginner paddle because it's pretty much indestructible. So as you're learning how to do this sport, if you bang into some rocks or anything like that, you're not going to break this paddle. It's a little bit heavier because it's made of plastic. You can get paddles that weigh almost nothing but are very fragile racing paddles. And there's everything in between. You even have wood paddles, Greenland style paddle. It almost just looks like a big long toothpick. All different kinds. This is a traditional sort of a regular recreational sea kayak paddle. So to find the right length for you, what you want to do is you're going to stand flat-footed. You're going to reach your hand up to the top of the blade. Exactly. If your fingers reach to the top like that, basically if the paddle breaks anywhere between about here and about here, that's probably the right paddle. So that paddle is the correct length for you. Yep. So, how do you want to hold the paddle? Okay, there's a couple of things that you want to notice. The paddle has kind of a spoon shape to it, right? You want that spoon shape to face back. That's a little bit hard to tell, but most paddles have writing on the front of the paddle. The easiest way is if you can see the paddle, or if you can see the writing on the face of the paddle, and if it's facing right side up, then you're holding it correctly. So, you got the writing here, it's facing this way so you can read it. As long as it's facing back of you like that, you're holding it properly, okay? So, that's it.
What about the distance between
All right.
hand and hand?
So what I'm going to show you here is that basically you want to have your hands just a little more than shoulder width apart, okay? The best technique to figure that out is you put the paddle on top of your head, right on top of your head. Now come up just about an inch, okay? Raise it up just about an inch off the top of your head. There you go. Now your hands, your elbows should be almost at a 90-degree angle. So I would say you need to come out just a little bit more. That's good. All right? And that is just about the way that you want to hold the paddle, okay? So now, you got the paddle facing you the right way. You got your hands placed in the right place. Let's see what happens. Let's sit you down in the boat. We can work on posture. We can talk a little bit about paddle technique. All right?
Trick to getting in, is it any technique or
Just hop in the best way you can.
Just hop in?
Absolutely.
Okay, hold this?
Yep, I'll take this for you. Go ahead. You want to kind of go in with your feet first, obviously,
Right.
and then just sort of slide yourself in.
Okay.
There you go. Now, on this part of the boat right here, you have what's called thigh braces, okay? What you want to try to do is make sure that your legs are all the way out to the side. So your knees should be touching all the way out here. And they'll be resting inside those thigh braces. So what you want to try to do is have those thigh braces feel like they're right here, okay? Your feet are going to be on foot pegs inside the boat here, okay? And what you want to do is you want to sit kind of like a frog with your legs kind of pointing out like this. Your knees up into these thigh braces here. And you want to sit up nice and straight, okay? You don't want to get all slouchy like this because that'll make you tired and it creates bad form. So if you sit up nice and straight, right? And you want to be kind of flexible in the hips. So what happens is when that boat starts to rock, you want your head to stay kind of in place. So you want to get like you're dancing, right? You want your hips to be nice and loose. So when that boat rocks, you want your head to stay put and your body moves. There you go. Just like that, right? So when you get in the water and you hit a wave, you want the boat to just sort of rock with you. It's just like dancing. You want to play a little salsa music, you can go here like this, right? All right.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
It's pretty simple. So the next thing you want to do is how do you hold the paddle, okay? What's your paddle technique? So I'm going to put the paddle into your hands, okay? Now, the first thing you want to keep in mind is you're going to get tired faster and you're not going to paddle as powerfully as you can if all you're doing is paddling with these little muscles here. Ultimately, you want to paddle with these big muscles in your core, okay? These muscles here are much stronger, they're going to last longer. So what you want to try to do is instead of paddling with your arms like this, you want to rotate your shoulders like this. And when you do that, you're engaging these big muscles. Those big muscles will last a lot longer than these smaller muscles. So what you want to do is you're going to reach forward with the paddle like that. You rotate your shoulders just like you're doing. Paddle goes into the water. You rotate the paddle some more, and you bring this shoulder forward, and that's it. You want to stop that stroke. When the paddle gets about to your hip, then you want to turn, put that blade into the water. Okay? So that's it. You're just rotating with the shoulders. That's the main thing. So you want to rotate. Paddle goes in, then you're going to put that side in, turn, and there it is. That's the stroke. And if you're doing it with that rotation like this, engaging these big muscles, you're going to paddle a lot longer, a lot further, and you're not going to get tired out.
I would thought they just used their arm. Interesting.
Yeah, it definitely makes it a full body workout. And then once you get the hang of using your core muscles and rotating your hips, you're also going to drive through your legs. So when the paddle goes in the water and you're pulling back, you're actually driving forward with this leg. So
Your leg muscles also.
you're working your legs, you're working your core, you're working your shoulders. So it is really a full body workout. So it's a great way to get yourself in shape and stay in shape. Yeah.
Didn't have to use the rest of it.
It's a pretty easy thing to pick up. I mean, once you get, you'll sort of play a little bit working on going straight, working on technique, and engaging your core. And then you just start to work on it, driving your legs. The next thing you know, you're paddling long distances, you're paddling fast, and then you're ready for race day.
I heard about racing.
The other thing that's critically important is taking a lesson from somebody who is a qualified instructor so that the day is going to come where you're going to fall out of this boat. It happens to everybody eventually. You need to learn how to get yourself back into the boat in deep water. Now, there's a couple of ways of doing it. One way that you see in whitewater boating is a thing called the Eskimo roll.
Heard about the Eskimo roll.
And it freaks everybody out. They say, I don't want to have to learn to do that Eskimo roll. I'm going to be upside down. I don't know if I can get out of the boat, blah, blah. So, the Eskimo roll, it's an important thing to know if you're doing whitewater paddling. It's critical. For flat water paddling in a sea kayak like this, it's not as important for you to know how to do that. What is important, though, is how to get yourself out of the boat and how to get yourself back into the boat. It's a very easy process to learn, but it's a little counterintuitive. If you just go out onto the lake, you paddle around, you follow the boat, and you try to figure out how to get yourself back in the boat without any instruction, you could spend all day trying to figure it out and never get it right. And it's a good way to not come home. And we want you to come home.
Oh, yeah, I want to go.
That's good.
I want to go.
So, kayaking is fun. Kayaking is really easy. Anybody can do it from young to old. But make sure somebody teaches you how to do it safely. Make sure you're wearing your PFD. And then all it is just getting out on the water and doing it.
I heard that kayaking is 8,000, 9,000 years old.
It's been around, yeah, kayaking's been around for a long time. I mean, you know, you look back and people were making boats like this out of basically a wooden frame with sealskin over the to create this. Nowadays they're plastic, they're fiberglass, they're carbon fiber, they're all kinds of, you know, sort of high-tech materials. But the original kayaks were basically a wooden frame with some skins over the top. The guys have been doing it for a long time.
Now the word kayak, I heard that the meaning of it is hunter boat.
Is that right? Now, see, now you know something I didn't know.
Hunter's boat.
Hunter's boat.
Correct, but
Well, I know that, yeah, I think that they did use them for seal hunting. Right.
I read up on it. Also heard that it was introduced into the Olympics in 1936.
That's right, it is an Olympic sport. The boats that they use in the Olympics are a little bit different than this. This is more of a, this is what's called a touring boat. So this is the kind of boat you would use if you want to go out on the lake. You'll notice you have these holes up in the front of the boat. And those are actually hatches. You know, take that cover off, you've got storage space. You've got more storage space in the back. And so these boats are great for, you want to go long distance, you want to fill that up with gear. We've taken these boats on, we'll take these boats on trips where we'll paddle out to an island, camp out on the island, keep all your gear in there. So these are great boats. This is sort of the SUV of kayaking, right? Where the Olympic boats that you see, the boats that they race in the Olympics, those are like the Maserati, okay? Super hot rods. And there's everything in between. So you've got whitewater boats, you've got sea kayaks like this, you've got sprint boats, which are what you see in the Olympics, and then you've got another kind of a crazy hybrid, which is called a surf ski, which is 19 feet long, very narrow, super lightweight. And those are for racing out on open water on the ocean. They call them surf ski because you can actually surf them on big waves. So you'll see those things. They're starting to get popular in the U.S. and the Midwest, even in the United States. So sooner or later, we can get you in every one of those boats.
Whoa. Hey, one more question I just want to ask. I've heard that, like, Grand Canyon waterfalls, I heard that people have plunged down and used those, 70 feet falls over in the waterfall area.
That's a whole other game. But that's that's a whitewater boat, and that's the same basic formula as this. It's a little bit shorter, it's a little bit wider, and in that case, those are the guys you got to learn how to do an Eskimo roll before you're going to go over a 70-foot waterfall.
Interesting.
But we'll work up to that. Let's first worry about going out on a 3-foot wave out on Lake Michigan, and then we'll work up to 70-foot waterfall drops.
Let's just do regular.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
All right, well, I hope you learned everything, and it was good to meet you, and let's go paddle sometime soon. Sounds good. Thanks.
Thanks, man.
He's one of the instructors at Lincoln Park Boat Club in Outrigger Canoe.
So like the kayak, you know, the outrigger has its origins as a functional boat. People use these boats for fishing and for travel. But unlike the kayak, which sort of has its origins more in the high latitudes, like the Aleutian Islands and places like that, the outrigger really developed in the Pacific Ocean in more tropical climates, in Polynesian culture, basically. So it's really an ocean-going vessel. And so it's a canoe that's designed to be very long and slim. And it gains its stability by this piece here called the ama. And so these two bracing rods that attach the ama to the canoe are called yakos. And so these are just Hawaiian words that have been applied to the boat.
I always see these boats like on Hawaii.
That's
Five
right.
old pictures like that. I always see these on the island though. So
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Hawaiian boats.
Yeah, so they're really designed for Pacific Ocean swell. So what they're very good for is actually surfing. So you can use these boats if you go out on the ocean. You can use these to catch waves and actually surf on waves, which turns out to be a lot of fun. And so this is the paddle, the outrigger canoe paddle. So you'll notice that it's a canoe paddle in the sense that it only has one blade. Typically these are made out of wood, which provide a little bit of flex in them. But modern paddles are often, for racing especially, are made from more modern materials like carbon